Сотрудничество в рамках союзного государства, а на совещании в правительстве обсуждали, как сохранить.
Stop the war, no to war. Those were the words of a Russian protester on state television. She has been named as an editor of the channel. She is believed to be in custody. Joining us now is Fox News contributor Marc Thiessen, a former White House speechwriter. The woman that we just saw run up behind the host of that television program, she was arrested. She has not been seen since. Her lawyers have not seen her. They haven't spoken to her. So no word as to what her living conditions are as of right now behind bars and how she's being treated. But to protest the Ukraine invasion on Russian state television like this, isn't that risking your life? Would you consider this a heroic act?
Oh, it's a completely heroic act. I mean, she's disappeared. No one knows where she is or what's happened to her. And she posted a video. In addition to this, she posted a video on social media preparing for this moment where she said, look, I've been promoting Putin's propaganda for years as an editor on Russian television. I stood silent in 2014 when the first invasion took place. I was silent when he poisoned and then jailed Alexei Navalny, the opposition leader. But I can stay silent no more because my mother is Russian and my father is Ukrainian. And the Ukrainians are our brothers. And this is a war of aggression by Vladimir Putin. I mean, to do this and to put this out on social media and to go on to Russia, this is the equivalent of, like, special report. This is their main broadcast in Russia, where the most people get their news. And to go on and do this is such a heroic act, to get the truth to the Russian people. Apparently,
before storming the set, she recorded a video which looks like it was in her apartment. Let's watch this.
What's happening in Ukraine is a crime, and Russia is the aggressor. And there is only one person responsible for this. This man is Vladimir Putin.
I mean, this woman is a hero. The question, though, is do you think her message got across? And do you believe that maybe this is indicative of how Russians are feeling?
I hope so. I mean, one of the things we don't realize is, like, Putin has invaded Ukraine because he wants to reconstitute the borders of the old Soviet Union, but he's already reconstituted the Soviet Union at home. Vladimir Kara-Murza, who's an aide to Alexei Navalny, the jailed opposition leader, has said that there are twice as many political prisoners in Russia now as there were during the Soviet Union. They have arrested 14,000 people for protesting the war. Well, that's a lot of people that have protested the war in a country where the Russian people aren't getting any news about what's happening in Ukraine. They think that the Ukrainians are greeting the Russian forces as brothers. They don't know that that Putin is carpet bombing maternity hospitals and Orthodox monasteries where they were hiding children and residential neighborhoods and killing thousands of people. They're not aware of this. So we got to break the information monopoly and get the news to them so that they know what there's being done in their name.
Right, and businesses internet to the West is being cut off as of today. Today is the cutoff date. That demand made by President Vladimir Putin. Switching gears completely now, I want to get to President Biden, who has been blaming, as you know, Russia for the surge in gas prices, despite the fact that he has dragged his feet on banning Russia oil imports. What is really behind the price surge?
You know what? It's amazing. The one thing that Americans hate more than presidential incompetence is being lied to. So Americans know that before the war in Ukraine ever began, President Biden unleashed the largest year-over-year rise in gas prices in 30 years. They know that before the war in Ukraine began, we had the worst inflation in 40 years. So to try and turn around and tell the American people this is all Putin's fault, there's nothing we can do, is a flat-out lie, and people know it. What unleashed this? First of all, the war on fossil fuels. When you declare that you're going to end fossil fuels, fossil fuel producers don't drill more wells. It's just that simple. And second, the American Rescue Plan, which poured $1.9 trillion into the economy, overheated the demand side, and when the supply side couldn't keep up, unleashed record inflation, record labor shortage. So you have 11 million unfilled jobs. Nobody's going to drill new wells if they can't find workers. And there's a historic labor shortage in the oil industry. So all these things have come together to create this unprecedented economic crisis. And he turns around, first of all, doesn't want to ban gas. resists it for weeks, then is forced into it by bipartisan majorities in Congress that push him for it, and then within nanoseconds starts blaming Vladimir Putin for all of the problems that he unleashed on the American economy.
Look, gas prices were up over $1 before this war started. We all know it. We all fill up our gas tanks. It's now over $4 and rising, over $7 in some cities. So there just doesn't seem to be an end in sight. They just need to own it. Inflation, it's somebody's fault, and it ain't Putin's. Marc Thiessen, thank you very much.
Amen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.